I identify as non-binary. What's up, guys? It's Tuesday, April 16th, 2024. We're at the Bitcoin block height of 839,573. We're less than 500 away, getting close to 400 away from the Bitcoin halving. I told you guys that I was going to make a 10 things you need to know about the Bitcoin halving on SatoshiSaturday. Well, looks like the block speeded up a little bit, and looks like it's going to be Friday. So I'll make that video Friday, because we could do about 144 a day. I think it's going to be Friday. Yeah, Friday the 19th, April 19th. I know a lot of people that participate in certain things are sad it's not going to be on 420. But hey, you know, at midnight you still can celebrate. Anyways, been out and about today. Gave some Satoshis away. Talked to a couple people, because when you wear shirts like this, the kind that I wear, I get a lot of attention. And then me looking the way I look, people don't expect me to wear the things that I wear and say the things that I say, but that's why I do it, because I don't want anybody thinking that I'm something that I'm not. And I like to let people know where I stand. And I believe that's what you guys got to do too. You got to let people know where you stand, and all the information that you're downloading, meaning learning, you got to pass on that information. You know, we all come from people that came before us. You know, our parents, grandparents, whatever. People that we learn from. We all have these filters that generate the way we think, right? And it comes from all those people, your family, friends, what you watch on TV and stuff like that. That's why I was a Democrat for a long time, growing up in New York State, and coming from a black family and things like that. So I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with being a Democrat, but today's Democratic Party is just so crazy. And there's some cool Democrats. There's some people that are actually based. I know some based Democrats that are just not for it, not for any of this stuff. And they're like the old JFK Democrats, just like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. or Tulsi Gabbard or something like that. Basically now they're kind of like center right. But the information that you have and you've learned in all these videos that you've been watching, don't keep it a secret. Tell people about the things that you know, especially the people that you love. Now that's the hardest thing to do, because a lot of people that know you for who you are and not the newer version of you, right? Because we all evolve and change based on, our experiences and our information. It's almost like, when you go off to the military or you go off to college or something like that, you come back home as a different person, you know what I mean? Based on your different experiences. You got the same DNA and stuff, but man, you take a look at me in 2019, 5 years ago. I'm not saying I'm a completely different person, because I am, I have some, set of rules that I live by and stuff like that. But the information that I have now over these last 5 years, in particular, around, January, February, March of 2020, and I'm sure you guys, have this too, that the things that we've learned in the last, 3, 4, 5 years has been unbelievable. But a lot of people haven't learned it. They haven't learned all the things that we did and stuff like that. A lot of people just comply. They comply. I was one of the people, and I was one of the people that during the scamdemic, I never wore a mask. Never. It makes me sad thinking about that. I'm just thinking about that time where, and I was scared too. I was one of the people that was scared, but I just knew that wearing a mask wasn't the right way to go, because I'm not going to sit here and breathe in my own CO2. And I think that was just stupid. It's almost like trying to keep out that little cold with a mask is trying to keep mosquitoes out with a chain link fence. It was just stupid. And I was one of those people that did not wear it. And, you know, I didn't have a 9-to-5 job or anything like that. So I was just one of those people that was just doing their thing and stuff. And I just felt so bad for people that had to take the you-know-what back then to keep their job, to keep their livelihood. And I knew a lot of people, some good people, real good and smart people that really enjoyed their work, really enjoyed their life, and really enjoyed, you know, what they did for a living. But when this thing happened, sorry guys, somebody's coming close to my car. When this thing happened, it forced you to make a decision. Either you feed your family and feed yourself, or potentially, you know, lose your income and be homeless. You know, and that's a tough choice for a lot of people. You know what I mean? And I know a lot of people. Not saying they regret doing it, but you know, they had to do it. You know, and it was almost like it was a no choice. They had no choice. That's not a choice. Either you lose your job or you take this. For some people, now a lot of people I knew that did stand up and not do it, and they struggled through it, and I commend them for it. But either way, it's just that's tough, man. And for all that stuff that happened, these people that made, you know, these good citizens around this country and around the world do that, you never hear them apologizing for what they did. They make you almost like forget that it happened. They made people do it. You know what I mean? Because I'm saying this, I'm talking to you about this, 'cause I was talking to somebody about this today. And it's sad, man, because a lot of people just wanted a little bit more research to that thing, you know? But no, you got to do it now, because we said you'd do it now. And these are the same people on that side will tell women their body, their choice. And at the same time, they're sticking up for women's rights and everything else, but they can tell a man that dresses up as a woman, not only can that man that's dressed up as a woman go into your bathroom, but they can also play a sport with you. And then when they win the sport, because they always do, because you ever notice the girls that dress like boys never play with the boys? And when they do win the sport in dominating fashion, what do they say? Oh, they don't have any physical advantages. What are you talking about? Again, man, common sense. I had a guy yesterday leave me a comment, says, tell me that I don't have common sense because I like Donald Trump, and Donald Trump's the one that said something about shooting Clorox or something in his thing. And I'm just like, when you hear people talk like that, when they talk about the identity politics and they talk about the man and the person instead of the policies and the common sense stuff, because Trump is such a polarizing person. And it ain't about Trump, but he's just the guy that they use. It's sad, man. It's sad. And these, to me, it's a combination of people. I don't like calling people stupid or weak or anything like that, but we've been conditioned our life to been taught that everything is normal, right? Like, you know, when you go to your job, you get paid in cash, and that money is good. And, you know, when you're a kid, you learn about the tooth fairy, and you learn about, you know, Santa Claus and all these things that we learned about. You know, a lot of things in our world. We watch a television program, and the news anchors talk to us, and we watch TV shows, and, you know, all these things, you know, we've been lied to, man. You know, me too, all of us. I'm 49 years old right now. I didn't learn about the debasement of our currency, what inflation really is, because I was into real estate hardcore, and I was benefiting off inflation, but I didn't really understand inflation. I've heard of money printing. I went to school for finance, guys. I heard about money printing, but I never connected the dots. I never put two and two together that money printing equaled debasement of the currency. I didn't learn that until I got out of my school system, out of the traditional schools, and started watching gold and silver videos with Mike Maloney. That little 9 or 10 part thing he had, Mike Maloney. I didn't know anything about that. I was never taught about that. And I believe that's done on purpose. Why would they tell us that? When I go out here now and talk to people about what's going on in the world and inflation and everything else, because the pandemic, excuse me, I'm sorry, the scamdemic or the plandemic, whatever you like to call it, really sped things up. That, along with Trump, along with a few other things that was going on, sped up their plan, these people's plan that a lot of people know about that I can't talk about on YouTube. It forced people to not wake up, because a lot of people did wake up, but look and say, man, this is off kilter. Something ain't right. You know, inflation has never been this bad since the late 70s, early 80s. People alive today have not felt inflation like this. And back then, Paul Volcker, you know, the Fed chair at the time, you know, he did what he was supposed to do. He raised the interest rates, because that's the only way you can fight inflation, guys, okay? You have to raise the interest rates higher or up to the level of what the real inflation is. And back then in the late 70s, 80s, they didn't fudge the numbers. Those inflation numbers are real. You know, they were 17, 18, 15, 16% or whatever they were. And guess what they did? They raised the interest rates very, very high. Sorry about the sun. If real inflation, what inflation really is, if they took the actual goods and didn't fudge the numbers and replace this and replace that, guys, it's in the 20s. You know, I'm not talking year over year. I'm talking, you know, from 2020 all the way up until now. I believe it's in the 20s. It may be close to 30. Who knows, right? All I know is things are a lot more expensive than they were before the pandemic or the scamdemic. And so you can talk to people now about inflation. You know, if you want to talk to people about whether, you know, you want to fight for the country, or talk about, you know, orange pilling somebody with Bitcoin, or again, you know, red, white, and blue in people, or red, white, and blue in the red, white, and blue pill, excuse me, with Bitcoin. The best way I go about it is I just say, hey man, isn't things cost so much? And not one time has somebody said to me, oh no, everything's good. They all say the same thing. Yeah, man, things are expensive. They don't know why, but this is the time to do it. Before, when inflation was 2% and stuff like that, and it was just regular, slowly debasing our currency, slowly, you know, nobody even noticed it. They thought inflation was just, oh, this is good because I can get a raise. They weren't noticing the stealing compoundingly every single year, because that's what compounding is. It's the eighth wonder of the world. That's what Albert Einstein says, you know, compound interest. But the problem is it works the other way too. If you have money in the stocks and you're getting compound interest on top, that's great, but it's working in the opposite direction when they're stealing 1, 2, 3, 4% of your dollar every single year, over year, over year, over year. It works the same way. So this is a good time to talk to people, guys. Get out there and don't, you know, I never come to people and just talk to them about Bitcoin. I don't say, hey, you know, Bitcoin's good, or hey, you need to vote for Trump. And I don't talk about people about Trump like you need to vote for Trump. All I'm saying, because Trump is not going to fix the money problem, okay? He's just not. He's going to fix other problems, I believe, if Congress lets him do it. I think he can fix a lot of problems like the borders, and he can deport some people. He can be tougher on crime. I think he can maybe slow down the rate of inflation. I think he can spend less. That'll be doing it. Print less. Because it's all about controlling thy spending. And he can do a lot of things that I'm for, but I don't think he can stop the inevitable. So we need to talk to these people about inflation and tell them you got something to fix it. You know, talk to them about it, explain to them what it is. You know, you don't want to do it in you don't want to mansplain anybody or nothing like that, or make them feel stupid or dumb. Just talk to them in a conversation. What I tell people, because I have a YouTube channel, I tell people that I'm a low-level Bitcoin educator. Now for you, if I was just a person that didn't have a YouTube channel or nothing like that, I would tell people, whether it's gold or silver or Bitcoin, I would say, look, you know, I was saving in stocks and bonds and everything else, and I had that stuff, but I found out that that stuff is just paper. It doesn't really exist, and I don't really have it if something happens. And also, it's just keeping up with the debasement of the currency when they print money. When you talk to them about printing money, and that's just stuff that they can just keep, you know, making more shares of and more shares of. But with gold and silver or Bitcoin in particular, it's a finite supply. It's only 21 million. You know, and this fixes inflation. Now, you can't spend it or nothing like that. It's just a savings account. You know, you hold on to it for 4 years, but I suggest you take a look at it and spend it, and then say, hey, let me show you how it works. And then have them download a wallet, and you zap them a couple hundred sats or 1,000 sats or something like that. And if they have any questions, give them your number or something if you want to. You don't have to, you know. But plant seeds. Get out there and plant seeds with people. Because what if somebody didn't tell you about Bitcoin, right? Like, I think about this a lot. The tools that we have today, as far as learning and stuff, I don't think was available in 2014, 2012, you know, because I seen Bitcoin a few times, and, you know, a lot of us did. We could have bought it 200 and something like that, or 500 or 1,000 or $1 or whatever price you first saw. But I myself don't think, if I didn't have the education and I didn't study Bitcoin the way I did, based on everything I learned with precious metals, I would have looked at it as just a regular money thing, as a money flip thing. I would have bought in for 200, maybe spent $1,000, bought 5 coins. Oh, I'm just going to spend $1,000 or whatever. And then once it got to 2,000 or 3,000, I'm flipping. No, I got this. You know how many stories are like that? How many people sold? I sold in 2021, and I had understanding of inflation and all that. I sold twice to get some more silver. So the most important thing is when you tell somebody about Bitcoin, if you do it, is tell them it stops inflation and it's a long-term savings. Tell them that for at least 4 years. But you have to understand this is a brand new system, because our money is broken. Even though the the United States has the strongest money, strongest currency, as you can see, it's broken. And the reason why the prices are going up is because the power of your dollar and the purchasing power of your dollar is going down. Explain that nice and simple and keep it moving. And if it's somebody you see a lot, you know, just nibble at them here and there. You know what I mean? And then, you know, sit down and maybe watch a video with them or something. You know? I'm saying these things because when they say knowledge is power, it is to a certain extent. But if you keep it to yourself, if you keep that powerful knowledge that you have, because it is powerful, it's almost like harness energy that's just not being used. If you know a lot of things, if you know stuff and you don't go out there and apply that knowledge or also spread that knowledge, that power is wasted. And I don't want you guys to do that. So I'm just chilling today. I feel a little down today, a little bit. Not down like psychologically, just physically I feel a little, one of those days. But I got you guys. So, and I look forward to your comments. And I like it when I know I can hit this button and put it into the ether, and people can watch it and listen to it later when I'm sleeping or when I'm doing something else. Somebody can watch me. That's powerful, man. That's why I suggest you guys to make videos if you want to. You don't have to, but we need as many voices as we can out here. All right. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And again, guys, you work your tails off for your money. You know that. And there's a lot of ways to store that energy that we talked about earlier. And that power that you have, that knowledge that you have, also spread that knowledge. And if you want to teach people about what I just talked about, you got to learn it yourself. Once taught, twice learned, right? And I think the most efficient way to do that is to study it yourself and then buy and put away. And what am I talking about? I think you guys already know. It's the best way to save. And for me, the only way to save. And that's Bitcoin. I love each and every one of you, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace and love, guys.